Okay, this is your tutorial on formatting and creating documents in Google Docs. So if we open up our Google Drive and we click on Create and go to Document, you can see that the format is pretty similar to Microsoft Word. And so let's poke around a little bit. In File, this is where you can create a new document right inside. This one, you can open up another document. You can rename this here, or you can click here and rename it. Let's call it Practice. You can also change the language of all the information around you if needed. You can also download this once you're done as a PDF, a Microsoft Word document, an open document format, rich text format, a web page, or plain text. You can also publish this particular doc to the web, email collaborators, email this as an attachment to someone who maybe doesn't have access. And this is what a lot of you are asking about. Let's go to Page Setup. In Page Setup, this is where you can change the margins. You can also change the background color of your page here. You can change from portrait to landscape. And this is pretty much set up as pretty standard 1 inch, but if you need to make any changes, you can. So now our page is blue. So this is pretty important where your undo button is. It's also here on your menu bar, undo and redo and print. View is where you can see all of these things. See if I click this off and click this back on again. Show ruler. So I like to see my ruler because I like to adjust my margins here if I needed to, but you can certainly turn that off if it's distraction. So equation bar, this is where you could put formulas in and other kinds of letters. Let's say you were doing math operations and you needed some other kind of symbols. That would be very important to you. I like having spelling suggestions on. I like that very much. I don't usually use full screen, but let's try it. If you click on full screen, then you don't see all of those controls. Press escape to get back to where we were. Format is where you can format your text, but you can also format text here right on your toolbar. So let's say, for instance, we're going to write hello. I can highlight hello, I can bold it, I can italicize, underline it, I can change colors. I can also add a link to it if I wanted to, just by clicking here on the links or pasting in a URL. Let's edit, undo that. And here's where I can change my fonts. You can get more fonts. There's quite a few to choose from, so if you find something a little bit more interesting, you can also change your font size, and you can center, and you can highlight. Like if you're highlighting text in a document and you wanted to do that, that's how you do it. Okay, you can also add a table of a certain size. Here, let's add just a really small table. And you can type inside of here just like you would a chart on or table on Pages. You can also, this is how you would form columns. So if this was to be columns, then you want to make sure that you make those lines disappear so you actually just see 3 columns of words and you don't see the lines. So if you click on Table Properties, you can go to where it says Table Border, and just we will have no border at all, 0-point border, and that would make that disappear, but the columns would still be intact. So that's really important to know. Tools, spelling, I love the research because I can research things right inside. Let's say I want an image for hello, like a smiley face. I don't ever have to leave my Google Doc. I can stay right inside of my Google Doc. I can go and get scholarly articles here. I can also cite it. So let's say it shows up at the bottom in perfect MLA format or ALA whichever format you have chosen. So that's pretty cool. So tools, you can also translate your document. Let's say you needed to write a letter to a parent who was from another nation. You could translate this into Korean, Dutch, English, and so forth. So that's a really neat thing because all of Google's power is behind your Google Doc, which is another reason to use it. Preferences, if you want this style of fraction or a smaller one, you can certainly make some choices here. It doesn't hurt to poke around and find different things. And we've talked about add-ons and how to get them and how to add them in. Here's your help menu. This is another important feature. Let me just get a new doc here because this one's getting kind of crowded. Let's say you want something to be in a numbered list. That's how you do that. Let's say you didn't want the numbers anymore, you wanted a different format. You could just click here and change it. This is a bulleted list maybe instead. So you have the same choices that you have in Pages just right at your fingertip. And this is decrease indentations and decrease. So here's some. If you formatted something, you can clear every piece of format in a document. That will really help if you're trying to go from copy paste from a Pages document or something. You can clear and start from scratch, so you can get quite complicated. And you can also shift your paragraphs, set the text direction from left to right, or set it from right to left. There. That just closes up that top menu bar, and that opens it up again. And anytime you see a little X, that means it's probably you can close it out again. So let's this is where you could add comments. We've already talked about this is where you would share. So I hope that helps.